And we're back with Matt and Austin, Flat Outdoorsman. Today we're going to do a comparison between Mountain House backpacking meals and Peak Refuel backpacking meals. So for both brands we have 2 breakfast options and 3 dinner options. We're going to be doing a side-by-side test to see which one's better for your money.
Yeah, and the big comparison is that there's about a $3 to $4 difference between the 2 brands. Peak's a little bit more expensive, Mountain House a little bit cheaper. You can usually find the dinner meals at Walmart for like $9, and then you can usually find the Peaks for around like $12 to $13 a piece. The breakfast options are a little bit cheaper. So yeah, we're excited to try all these and see which one's better. See if the price difference for the Peak Refuels are worth the money.
So starting out with breakfast, on the Peak Refuel side we have strawberry granola with milk. On the macros, a total fat 9 grams, total carbohydrates 87 grams, and 23 grams of protein. That's going to be for an entire package.
And on my side, I got the Mountain House blueberry and granola. The macros on the Mountain House is going to be 18 grams of fat, 8 grams of saturated fat, and you got carbohydrates. It's going to be 74 grams, protein 15 grams, and that's for the entire package.
Alright. So, getting the first look, this one looks a little runny. How's that one look?
About the same.
About the same.
Yeah.
So this one takes 1 cup of water, cold water, stir and wait 5 minutes, and you just eat it right out of the pouch.
And then this one takes a half a cup of water, stirred in cold, and it takes about 5 minutes also. So, and you can kind of add the water based on your liking. I know with these sometimes I add less water because I don't like it super milky like it is right now currently, if you can see that in the camera. So, moving on to taste test.
That was not bad. This one seems a little bit thicker. I think for the $4 difference, you get a little less protein, but in terms of taste, I think Mountain House is probably the better option. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess first impressions, I definitely like the Mountain House a lot better. It's not super milky like the Peak is, and I don't know if it's just the difference in the berries, but the strawberries at the Peak weren't super great, I didn't think.
Yeah, they're a little soft and chewy.
Yeah.
These ones actually kind of reminded me a little more of a berry.
And then as far as the granola is concerned too, the Peak is also kind of softer and chewy, and usually when I think of granola it's a little bit more, I don't know, hard.
Crunchy, yeah.
So for this one I'm going to have to side with Mountain House.
So when you're looking at granola breakfast, we recommend Mountain House. Save you $4 and tastes a little bit better. Alright, so moving into our second breakfast option, we got breakfast skillet. On the Mountain House side, 2 servings is going to be 3.7 ounces. Looking at the macros, 24 grams of fat, 46 grams of carbohydrates, and 28 grams of protein.
And on the Peak side, same thing, breakfast skillet, egg, sausage, potatoes, and peppers. Total for the package is going to be 4.87 ounces, 138 total grams. So the macros on this one, be 38 grams of fat, 45 grams of carbohydrates, and 39 grams of protein.
Alright. This one actually hydrated really well. How's that one?
It's pretty good.
Oh, that's pretty good too. Let's see the inside.
Up a little bit.
Breakfast skillet is really awesome. It's one of my favorites. Out in the field, I'll bring a tortilla, make like a little breakfast burrito, put some hot sauce or S&P in there.
Yeah, it's definitely my go-to. I know, like for Mountain House, the two big ones are this and biscuits and gravy, and pretty much always a breakfast skillet type of guy. So.
That was not bad. This one looks like it has some seasoning, like some salt and pepper already in there.
Yeah, I think it did when I filled it up.
Huh. So if you don't like to carry salt and pepper, this one comes with it. Dude, this one's pretty good. Has larger pieces of pepper. A different style of potato. This one has cubed potatoes, and the Mountain House has a shredded potato. I think these potatoes hydrate a little better.
So yeah, first impressions for me. I think like the Peak looks a little bit more real, I guess you could say. Like the onions and everything
Oh yeah, and the peppers, yeah.
look like you would get it from the store, which is pretty cool. As far as which one I prefer more,
You're gonna take the Mountain House
I'm
again?
gonna go the Mountain House again. It just tastes better, I think.
Huh.
So,
Well, I'm gonna go with the Peak. This one actually seems pretty good, and I might actually pay the $4 more for this one. So, for a tiebreaker, let us know in the comments. Would you rather have the Mountain House or the Peak and breakfast skillet? All right, moving into our first dinner option. We're going with chicken and rice. I got the Peak Refuel, 5.15 ounces. 10 minutes to cook with a cup of water. On the macros, we got 37 grams of fat, 61 grams of carbohydrates, and 40 grams of protein in a container.
and on the Mountain House side, same thing, chicken and rice. The net weight is going to be 4.2 ounces, 120 grams total. Macros is going to be fat 8 grams, carbohydrates 92, and protein 15 grams. So
I'm looking at them. The Mountain House, 500 calories per container, and this one has 740. So looks like there's a lot more calories in this one. Does that one have mushrooms?
not that I'm seeing in it.
I'm not a big fan of mushrooms, so to give my most unbiased opinion, I'm just gonna go right past those and get.
You don't like mushrooms?
No.
Like a mushroom Swiss burger?
No, thank you. Nice big slice of carrot. Nice. The rice actually rehydrated really well. I'm always worried about rice ones because you don't want them too crunchy, but yeah, the carrots, chicken, rice rehydrated pretty well.
The rice is good. It's got a little bit of like red peppers in here, some carrots. Obviously, you got the chicken in there. And first impressions, it tastes pretty good. And I'm gonna have some mushrooms.
I feel like this one's a little more seasoned. You know, that one's just carrots, mushrooms, rice, chicken. Seems like about it. This one, you know, has a little extra seasoning on the rice. So I feel like, you know, the rice is almost a little different color too. This one's a little more yellow. That one looks
Yeah, this one's like
a little more white, like just normal rice. So
yeah, first impressions for me, like the mushrooms. You know, that's personal preference. The chicken, I don't know, to my eye, it looks like it's a little bit higher quality, I guess you could say. And the rice was good. It hydrated really well. So if I'm gonna have to pick one between the two of them, I like the Peak better. I think the ingredients just taste better than the Mountain House, and I like mainly for me it's like the chicken. The chicken just tastes more real, higher quality to me.
yeah, so this one has red bell pepper, carrots, and celery, along with the chicken and rice. I think out of the 2 carrots, Peak takes that one. I think out of the chicken, Peak takes that one. I do like the rice on this more, so if you put the rice in there, I'd pick that one. But if I'm gonna sit down and eat a whole one of these, I'm probably gonna pick the Mountain House. So we got another tiebreaker. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, and it just, I mean, for a lot of people, it's just personal preference. Obviously, like I like the ingredients just being a little bit better, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Sure. All right, so second dinner option, we have chili mac with beef, spicy sauce, macaroni, beef and beans. For the Mountain House, 3.8 ounces. Cup and a half of hot water, and wait about 10 minutes. So total fat, 12 grams. Carbohydrates, 65 grams, and protein, 24 grams.
So on my side of things, with the Peak, it's going to be beef chili mac, beef crumbles, macaroni noodles, beans, and vegetables, and a sweet chili sauce. Net weight is 5.92 ounces, 150 grams total. And then on the macros, it's going to be 29 grams of fat, 74 grams of carbohydrates, and 40 grams of protein.
So one thing to consider before we eat them is the Mountain House is a spicy sauce, and the Peak is a sweet chili sauce.
Yep.
How's that one look? Look like chili? Does it?
So
This one's a little more chili.
yeah, this one's, I mean, it looks pretty similar, I guess. Yours is a little bit more runny though.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's a little bit more solid.
This one's hot. We just got done making these ones. A little bit of spice. We did rate the we did wait the recommended time, and it seems like the noodles are still a little crunchy. Probably wait a few more minutes on this one, probably.
Yeah, on the Peak side, everything's dehydrated, good. The meat is pretty good. It's a little chewy in some spots, I guess. The beans tasted good. Yeah, not really any spice to it. And I didn't really notice any like sweet chili sauce. It just kind of tastes like normal chili mac to me.
Normal chili. Oh, this one looks pretty good. Yeah, this one's pretty mild. You know, it's not spicy, but it's also not sweet as advertised.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry. For me on the chili mac from Mountain House, I think the spice in it definitely makes it taste a little bit better in my opinion. I do like how the Peak is like a little bit more solid rather than this one's more like a soup almost. So
Yeah, that one's more like chili mac stew,
yeah,
and this one's more chili mac, is what I would say.
yeah.
So, which one are you going with?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Mountain House, just taste based. I think just tastes a little bit better.
Yeah, if you let the Mountain House rehydrate a little bit more, so the noodles soften up, I would pick the Mountain House too. So, lower price, better taste. Go with the Mountain House for this one. All right, so moving into our last dinner option that we're comparing, it's going to be beef stroganoff. So on the Peak side, beef, rotini noodles, mushrooms, and a cream sauce with 5 total ounces, 10 minutes with 3/4 cup of hot water, 46 grams of fat, 50 grams of carbohydrates, and 41 grams of protein. This looks like it's going to be one of the higher protein meals that we've tasted today. Whole package of caloric intake is going to be 810 calories.
And on the Mountain House side of things, same thing. Beef stroganoff with noodles and savory cream sauce with mushrooms and onions. Net weight is 4.3 ounces, 123 total grams. And your macro is 23 grams of fat, 63 grams of carbohydrates, and 24 grams of protein. And the total calories on the Mountain House is going to be 560, so you are getting a little bit more.
A little bit more with the Peak. Ooh. This one smells real good.
On the Mountain House, it's kind of what it's going to look like inside, right there.
Would you say it's more solid or more runny?
It's about perfect, honestly. I mean, like I usually when I cook the beef stroganoff with Mountain House, I just run less water in all my meals, just because I like them not runny at all.
Yeah, this one actually looks pretty solid in there. Not as much water. That one looks pretty good.
Yeah.
This one smells real good too. This one's gonna be hard to beat. Just off the first taste, this one's pretty good.
And Mountain House noodles, soft. The meat's pretty tender. I will say that the kind of the weird thing about the beef strog is like the meat is like these little tiny cubes inside, and I don't know, it's just kind of an odd texture if you're looking for like a more realistic experience from your food.
Yeah. So yeah, looking at this one, it's not as runny as I thought it was. I don't think it looks as appealing as the Peak though. The Peak looks pretty good.
Yeah, the Peak looks pretty appealing.
For me, clear winner. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm gonna say all day Peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have no problem paying the extra $3 to $4 to eat this versus.
Yeah, the Peak is a clear winner on beef stroganoff. And beef stroganoff, every time that me and Austin go onto the field, he's always packing the Mountain House beef stroganoff. So hearing him go with Peak,
Yeah.
it must be pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, kind of a running theme. It seems like the ingredients in Peak are just seem a little bit higher quality, I would say.
Yeah.
But we were just talking a little bit ago, Mountain House seems to have the edge on the taste when it comes down close, but with beef stroganoff, like,
dude, no comparison. Like
yeah, it's way better.
The sauce, yeah,
which is weird too, because like, like kind of the hit for Mountain House is like everybody talks about beef strog. Like that's
yeah,
a go-to.
It's a classic Mountain House flavor.
Yeah, so I was actually pleasantly surprised that the Peak was like hands down way better.
Yeah, night and day. Yeah. Like can't even believe it. So.
All right. Well, this wraps up our comparison video. Obviously, we had, we're split on a couple of them. We agreed on a couple.
I'm gonna put the scores up right here.
Yep.
How many Mountain House won? How many Peak won?
Yep. And like we said before, if you want quality ingredients, and that's a big deal to you, then Peak is probably going to just be your best bet for anything. And then on Mountain House, I just feel like generally speaking, like the taste and most of them are better. I would only pay the extra money for Peak on the beef stroke out of everything that we taste tested today. I just think your value, $4 a meal is kind of a pretty big difference.
Yeah, especially when you're eating 2 of these a day, you're going out for 5 days. I mean, you're paying for 10 of these, and if you get all Mountain House, you're paying $80, and if you're going all Peak, you're paying 140, $130. So,
but then I guess the caveat to that too is that on average, Peak's gonna have more protein, more calories, higher serving size. So I mean, you are getting a little bit more closer to maybe it being a better deal than Mountain House, because you're just getting flat out more food in the Peak.
I think the price per ounce is probably a little better value with the Peak.
Yeah.
So, all right, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Flathead Outdoorsman. Comment your favorite Mountain House, favorite Peak. Comment other brands you want us to try. I know there's a handful of brands out there. We love making videos like this. Like, subscribe, comment for future content.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.